Okay. We got another one
I
question to go
hear
here,
you.
which I think is pretty good. I like the flow of this one today. It's nice. Last question we have here: are there any changes planned for the future for Sidewine? Any changes we're thinking about for promoting?
Huh.
This is where it's going to get interesting because this truly will be like a planning call.
So let's have a quick meeting now. Well, we had our Connected Educators monthly meetups once a month. It worked wonderfully. So who's for that? Who wants that to stay as it is? Connected Educators monthly meetup once a month. So we'll stick to that one. Anything else to add on? I would love to have, for instance, more people join us on our blog site, including you, Tim.
Yes.
There's so many people having wonderful podcasts, blogs, working on their books. Anyone you know, Michael?
Yeah, I've heard of some.
Yeah, I heard there are a few people working on books, doing their researches, and I wonder why they're not sharing that on our Connected Educators blog page. Because
I wonder too.
yeah, because you can be a member of our blog and you can just log in on a live website and leave your blog post behind. It doesn't have to be a duplicate of the blog post that you left someplace else. That was our dilemma too. Do you want to keep leaving the same kind of text behind? No, it can be an announcement of your blog post on a page someplace else or of a LinkedIn post you left, but still an invitation and an opportunity for somebody else to tune in with your thoughts, add on, and maybe become one of your resources. There's so many things out there. It's really, really difficult to find what you're looking for. So there's disadvantage of having everything within the reach of your hand. And providing guidelines where to look for something is very often very helpful. So it doesn't have to be a blog post where you talk about something you're good at. It can be just a lot of questions that you can't find the answers to, and people would tune in and provide answers. And yeah, I think the Twitter chat should not stop after the session. That's because I'm always in a different time zone. But I see a chat and a conversation somewhere in the States that took place 6 hours before I woke up, and I just join in with my comments. And there's always somebody who recognizes that, gets a notification, gets back to me. I love that. I love that it's an endless exchange of thoughts, and then you can leave the conversation when you're done. So people aren't really being annoying. For instance, Twitter is very nice at leaving you with your privacy, not being picky about anything but the topics you want to discuss. Very elegant. But I guess it depends on what audience you pick.
Yeah, you bring up a good point though, because I mean, some people might be listening and they've heard of a Twitter chat, but don't know what you mean by, how do you follow up with something 6 hours later? And I think, that's one thing that Cassie is great at with what she shares is kind of these, very down to earth, how do you do things from the very beginning, make it simple to understand. And we could get her to share some of her stuff on the site too. So, because that is important is when people come, we want them to feel welcome. We want them to understand, just because we know how to do all this stuff, we all at one point in time had to learn how to do it. And things are changing so fast that what we knew today is going to be different tomorrow. So we're always trying to stay up on top of that. We learn from the people around us, but we also share so other people can understand. And so, really, if you're looking and you have these questions, just reach out to us, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever you are, on the website. Just ask the question. And if we don't have the answer, somebody in the community, or we will find somebody in the community that has the answer for you. And it's so, that's like the thing that I love seeing happen. It's seeing people learn and grow because other people are sharing what they already know. and we all just kind of keep growing in an environment that helps everybody.
Well, one thing I'd like to have as well, with regard to the idea of sharing here, is I'd like to have more opportunity for those who are part of the big PLN that we have worked with over the year to give their ideas. So rather than it being down to one or two people, or three or four even, coming up with suggestions for our Connected Educator monthly meetups, I think it'd be nice to have more of a forum where if there's something happening in your school, you think this is something you'd like to be discussed by others, suggest it to us. And what we could do is reach out. And because there are a few folks who follow the hashtag SEDWIDE or follow the hashtag CEMM, people will see it. So if you have a question, you think, this is something that's affecting my work in school, it's something being suggested in my school just now, I don't quite get it yet, and I feel nervous about asking those in my leadership team because they scare me. That sort of idea. By sharing that with a team here, there's not any stigma involved in that at all. And it's something, again, we could explore in a very open way to others who have ideas too. I mean, I have no difficulty asking questions. I'm not sure, I think I've told you guys, so when I was in high school, we had our grade 12 yearbook, and that's the final grade in Western Canada and British Columbia. And in that grade 12 yearbook, you have who's most likely to something. So you had people who are most likely to be late for their own wedding, or most likely to appear on People magazine, which is a US magazine. I was voted the person who asks too many questions. They skipped the whole person most likely to. There's nothing fit me at all. Yeah, Michael just asks too many questions. Well, I'll tell you, that moniker I wore with a bit of embarrassment initially. I thought, man, why? I wanted to have person most likely to. And now I'd say I wear it with pride. And I think after high school, university, people were saying to me after my classes, thank you so much for asking that question. I wanted to ask it too, but I was afraid. I didn't care. I didn't care the response I got. That happened. This is kind of funny. I often knew the answer. But I saw the peers in my class, they didn't know the answer. They're baffled, looking like, oh, and the teacher thought, well, that's the question. I know the answer, but they want to know the answer as well. So I found it really, really a way to build community by asking questions. And when I have kids in my class, I tell them that story. And it really does, I think, decrease the level of anxiety about speaking in class. And I like people speaking in class. I don't have a silent classroom at all. I think it's important to have that anxiety gone, that stigma about if you ask a question, you don't know something. I think it's more if you ask a question, you want to know more. And that's a good thing. So I would recommend that. If there's something you want to have a chat about, something you want to explore, ask us, because we want to hear it.
So what you're saying is that when they said that you were asking too many questions, you responded with a question?
No.
You said, why do you think I asked too many questions?
All I know is I was student council president and I was the one who cut the classes.
Oh my. You heard my story.
Well, we are at the end of our hour.
I love your story.
I know. For our last Connected Educator monthly meetup before Connected Educator Appreciation Day, which will be on October 19th. US time, it's from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So 8 hours. There's 8 one-hour sessions coming up. If you have an idea, if you want to participate, if you want to help us with social media, just reach out to us on Twitter, reach out to us on the website, reach out to us on Facebook, let us know. We'll be sending out more information to everybody that is contacting us or has contacted us in the past and let you know about that. But please mark the date of October 19th from 10 a.m. Eastern time in the US till 6 p.m. I believe that is 3 to 11 your time, Michael, in the UK.
That's right, Scotland's 3 to 11, so Life is talking 4 till midnight.
4 to midnight.
And this, we did this time because it helps get everybody from, early morning on the West Coast of the US, and in those late hours in Europe, it's early morning on Sunday in parts of Asia. And so we get people kind of joining in from that time too. So it's very, we did this intentionally. So it might seem like it's very late in some parts and very early in some parts, but we tried to get it so it truly becomes a global event. And we'd love to have you participate.
Yes, and the beautiful blonde in her pajamas, that's Tilka in Melbourne. It's 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. in the morning for her.
That's right. That was one time this year. We did that one event that's great. We had an event, what was it again? Colombia, the States, Australia. We had
Monia joined us Monia Mahmoudi from Tunisia.
Tunisia, that's right. Tunisia, Croatia, and Scotland. So that's pretty good. That was a good mix of event there.
Yeah,
nice
it was great.
Wide variety. It was good fun. So, I was going to say one more thing. We have a form that we have ready to go out to, and over the next month, I'm going to put a link on Twitter for that, as well as maybe contacting some folks directly who were a part of our CEDWAD last year or CEMM through the course of the year.
Excellent.
It's really asking for feedback for what you think could improve. And if it's something you think you'd be interested in, it's a good place again to ask some questions about. So look out for that from the CEDWAD team, a link to a Google form so you can fill in some information there for yourselves. I think we're good to go.
Yeah.